Hello and welcome to Coffee with Celeste. I'm Celeste Hamilton Parker, the director of Every Step of the Way, and this is Jessica, my assistant. Coffee with Celeste is very much a conversation between myself and other members of Every Step of the Way, where we like to just talk about general aspects of the property industry and give you a bit of an insight to us as well as a company. So Jessica and I today have come up with some sort of questions that often get asked of us on a daily basis, and thought we would give you some information. So Jessica, some of the main questions that we tend to get asked, what is one of the main questions that we get?
So one of the main questions that we get is what makes us different to other estate agents?
We always get asked this question.
Always, all the time.
So when I go out on valuations, one of the questions that I always get asked is, well, why are you different to the other estate agents that I've had out to you? We are all very different, and I suppose one of the things that I'd like to say is that when you, for example, if you were going to go out to a restaurant and you were going to go out for a meal, your experience will be very different from whichever restaurant you choose to go to. Very similar in estate agency. Yes, there's the core aspects of the job that we do, but it's how well we do that and whether we go the extra mile and do anything extra within those sort of general day-to-day jobs, which we do. So I would say that we're very different because we're not typically a 9 to 5, no. Are we?
24/7,
yeah,
day in, day out, Saturday, Sunday, evenings, mornings, early mornings, all the time.
I mean, I'm very much, I don't switch off. I think that when it's your own business, you're very much, and this is actually a very key point, when it's your own business and you're not a corporate agent, and we're not just getting a salary every month, we've got to sell properties to survive, it's very different. You've always got your eye on the business. So with some of the typical traditional high street agencies, for example, they shut the doors at 5, 6 o'clock, and they go home. If the phones ring, they don't pick up those messages till the next day. Whereas Jess and I are very different in that we have the phones diverted to our mobiles. Jess is extremely hardworking, just like me. One of the reasons why I employed her. Very dedicated and devoted, aren't you?
Yeah. Want to bring the business in, don't we? Yeah. So you've got to be on it.
When I interviewed Jessica, and one of the key reasons why she's with us today is Jessica's very passionate about the job, and I think that's really important, isn't it? That you have to love what you do, and if you don't love what you do, then you're not going to give that service to your clients.
It's a lot to take in as well, so you've got to want to do it, because you're going to learn a lot with this job.
Yeah.
It's not the standard just viewings. It's not just that at all. There's so many different aspects to it. So
a lot of so in the past as well, when I've done interviews or if I go out and see clients, they often will say, "Wow, all you do is you just do viewings," and it's not like that at all, is it?
At all.
Our day is so. One of the things that you actually said to me recently, you said one of the things that I really like about this job is it's so varied. Mm-hmm. No day is the same. You could walk in and, from the morning you might be doing a bit of paperwork, contracts, ID, that sort of thing, or general marketing bits and pieces. Then you might be out doing a viewing, then you might be out doing a valuation.
Then calls all day.
You've got to do calls, etc. The day is just constant. And one of the things that I've noticed when I go out and see clients or interview, for example, is people just have this perception that all we do is show houses, and there's so much involved in estate agency. And I would say really it is an art, and it's understanding your clients and your people you're dealing with as well, the general public. Everybody is so different, and it's having that ability and that art to deal with people in different ways. So, you might have people that are very fast paced. You might have people that like to take things a little bit more slowly and understand things in more depth, where you have to take a little bit more time with people, etc. And it's really sort of understanding and how you deal with your clients as well.
That's the thing. I think with other estate agencies, they have their own set roles, But where with us and your business, we are literally there from the start to the finish. We go through the whole entire process. We're not just doing one viewing with you or just one valuation and then just never having contact with you again and pushing you on to someone else. You are literally with us from the start to the end.
Yeah.
So I think that is what makes us different
Yeah.
to other estate
Well,
agencies.
it's our USP, isn't it? You
Yeah.
know, every step of the way, that's our unique selling point. We're with our clients right from start to finish, that whole process. And you know, Jess works very closely alongside me, because obviously there's only so much that I can do, and I can't be there for everybody every second of the day. If I'm out on an appointment, for example, Jess is there to talk to my clients, and because we work so closely together, Jess obviously knows everything that I'm doing, and knows my clients well, and she knows the ins and outs of the business just like I do. So the difference is, as we've just said, we're with our clients every step of the way. We don't switch off, and absolutely credit to Jess. You know, sometimes I will sort of ping a message to her at 10 o'clock in the evening, not expecting her to respond back to me. And just like me, she's got the same work ethic. She's straight on it. We never miss any opportunities, do we?
God, yeah, no, not at all.
So, you know, even for example, if a client came in on a Sunday and called the office and they were hot to trot, ready to go to buy a house, what will we do? We'd be there.
Yeah.
We'd do that. We'd do that viewing.
We do viewings on weekends. Yeah.
So we were just talking actually this week, saying that we're just coming up to the Christmas period now, and a lot of sellers start thinking about taking their houses off the market, don't they? Because typically the market trends are the spring is the busiest time of year, and you know, everybody quietens down for Christmas, etc. And that is actually very true. But the busiest day of the year is Boxing Day. The website portals are the busiest day of the year when people are actually looking for property. And so if you think about it, you know, Christmas time is probably the time of year when everybody actually does start to sort of quieten down, have time to settle down with their families, and actually have that time off, because you know, we live in such a fast-paced world now, don't we, that we don't actually really get much time to switch off. So once Christmas Day's over, you know, you have that sort of busy Christmas Day with your family, etc. Boxing Day, people tend to sort of wind down, start talking about thinking about moving, etc. And what's the first thing they do? Hit the portals. So Boxing Day is the busiest time of year when people hit the portals.
Yep.
So Jess and I have actually been working really hard this month. We've got lots of properties that we're launching onto the market. Yeah, we hold back over December.
Yep.
And we launch them. We're launching them on
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
ready for that busy Boxing Day period. And the reason why we're different to other estate agents is because what happens on Boxing Day if the phone rings, Jess?
We're picking it up.
So we don't miss any opportunities. Whereas a lot of other estate agents, for example, your typical sort of traditional 9 to 5s, they're closed over Christmas. They won't pick up those inquiries until they come back in the new year. And we would just say today, actually, weren't we, that the question we get asked all the time at the moment is, are you busy?
Yeah,
and
we're always busy.
And so it, you know, yes, we could not be busy. We could start winding down like some of our competitors that we see in the windows sat there, you know, winding down for Christmas. We don't. We make ourselves busy. There's always something to do, isn't there? And whether that's, you know, communication is absolutely key, isn't it? The amount of people, so Jess and I, like we just said, obviously our jobs are very varied, and we might come in, you know, doing paperwork, etc. But this job is very much about communication, and it's a contact sport. And the more people that we phone, the more business that we generate. So even if you're sat there on a quiet day, for example, you might not be getting the levels of viewings because we're just coming up to that time of year where we're coming to Christmas and people are out doing their Christmas shoppings, etc. We're hitting the phones and we're hitting our database. And the amount we were saying this morning, weren't we, the amount of people that we speak to, and they say, oh, who are you? Oh, we don't really get calls from other agents. You know, other agents, I think, just sometimes just put properties online, cross their fingers and hope for the best. You know, you picked up a viewing the other day, didn't you? Whereas you spoke to somebody, they were looking for a property out in it was a completely different area, and you picked up the phone to them and talked to them about, we've got a property out in Fawley, and we've also got a property in Nursling in Southampton, and they were looking in Nursling in Southampton, and Jess spoke to them, and if she hadn't actually spoke to them and just relied on the portals, she wouldn't have got the viewing on the property in Fawley. And you said to them, what about this other property that we've got?
And he was like, oh, never even saw that. So,
and the reason why I didn't see that was because his criteria was narrowed down just to Southampton, that actually the computer was only as good as the information that he was putting in. So if we weren't helping and thinking outside the box a little bit and expanding that, that wouldn't have been a viewing that we would have had for our clients. So it's really important the reason why we're different is actually communicating with people, talking to people about...
You've got to build relationships as well, because you don't want to talk to a robot, do you?
No. and this, we were saying earlier actually, weren't we? It is very much about relationship building. The amount, I mean, I've been doing this job now for 23 years. I started in 1999 and God, that gives away my age. But I've been doing this job for a very, very long time. And the amount of clients over the years that have actually now become personal friends and repeat business. And you're dealing with people through their most... This is going to be one of their, they're buying the biggest home of their lives sometimes. This is, some people only move once or twice. This is one of the biggest decisions that they're ever going to make in their lives. And you're playing a big part of that. So it's really important to be able to hold those clients' hands from start to finish and see them through that process and build, like you just quite rightly said, build those relationships with people. That's really important.
Yeah.
What about you saying to me the other day, and this is one of the things that I've done in the past, when you're in someone's garden and you're talking to them and then they suddenly want to offer and you see that emotion and then you get that emotion in yourself, don't you?
Yeah.
And you said to me the other day that you nearly cried because they started crying in the garden.
Yeah. It's just one of those things, and that is the whole relationship building. You really care about, you want to see your client happy. Like you said, we are doing it for them. It is one of their biggest investments in their life. You really do build a relationship. So when I saw them getting upset and emotional, I started getting upset and emotional. But it's just one of those things as well, isn't it?
I think it's just that we were saying, weren't we, what are the best bits of the job? The best bits of the job, doing the viewings and selling houses. Obviously, that's what we're here to do. But when you know you've helped somebody and you've played that part and you've helped not only sell your client's house, but help secure that property for your buyer as well, and you've done a really good job and you've done your job properly, that satisfaction is the best part of the job, I would say. And the only way you get that is if you care about what you're doing, which is what we do. So what are the other things that we're different? Why else are we different, Jess?
Well, because we believe in ourselves so much that we can do a good job for you, so you get some estate agencies that hold contracts over you, and you have to be with them for a certain amount of time. It could be months on end, can't it? We don't do that. We believe that if you want to be with us, you want to be with us because we can do it for you. We can sell your property, or we can find your property. But we offer, I think it's a 14-day, so you just have to give us notice 14 days. And if you don't really like us, you're more than happy to go along your way, But we strongly believe, the reason why we do that is because we strongly believe we can do it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. The amount of clients that I go out to on valuations, and we get called out to go and do an appointment, and we say to them, so what's the situation with your contract at the moment? Are you tied in? Oh, yes, I'm tied in. Some of them I think do 16 weeks and some. And obviously if they're not happy, they get tied into these contracts. And the thing is, you go out, and I think we just touched on this a minute ago, it's very much a communication sport. The more people you communicate with, etc. But even some of our competitors just lack on that communication in having with their clients. So we go out to the valuation and say, so how's it been over the last 16 weeks? Well, I haven't heard from my agent for the last 4 weeks. What do you mean you haven't heard from your agent for the last 4 weeks? What, not even a call? No, not even a call. So you've had no viewings, but you've had no call, no nothing. And they just get left. And I think that sometimes what these agents do, our competitors, is they tie them into a contract and they just think, well, we've got them tied in for 16 weeks now. Stick it on the portals, hope for the best. But the difference with us, like you just said, Jess, is we work on a 14-day notice period at any time because we're confident we can deliver on what we say we're going to do. And if you're unhappy with us, you can leave us at any time. Yeah. But we know that we're going to be working our hardest in order to get the results. Yeah. And that's the difference, isn't it? And that's why we're different. Marketing as well. Marketing's such a big one, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Social media this day and age as well.
Social media is massive this day and age. I mean, we're very savvy on social media, and some of our competitors are pretty good on social media too. But social media, it's everybody used to be sort of, Rightmove, it's got to be Rightmove. I think in time Rightmove will actually fizzle out. Personally, I'll get in trouble for saying that. I do think Rightmove will eventually fizzle out, because the way of the world now is social media. How many people are on Facebook? How many people are on Instagram? Where's the place that people tend to go? It is absolutely huge, and we get so much of our business just from Facebook and Instagram, not so much the portals nowadays. Just going onto the groups, etc., especially the younger generation. Obviously, there's a big age difference between us, Jess, but your generation, certainly it was, when I interviewed you to start with, and not just Jess, many people within obviously the younger generation to myself, they don't know what Rightmove is. The place they go is Marketplace, Facebook, or Instagram, so social media is massive, and we're very much on that. Obviously we're doing, these videos and things now, and video content is huge. Video walkthrough, presenter-led videos of properties. Jess and I do that. I think it's, before, and also for our clients, I think it's about before somebody comes and views your home, if they've watched the video, they know what they're going to be getting. So, if you're doing a viewing from somebody that's watched your video, you're going to get a quality viewing rather than somebody coming from a set of details and they say, this wasn't what I expected. The photos made it look bigger, or the photos made it look smaller. By doing a video and a presenter-led video of a property, it's not wasting our clients' time. It's not wasting our time. It's not wasting the viewer's time. So again, you're getting more quality service. Another key one is when we get to point of offer. The amount of times in the past I've had offers put together and they haven't even been financially qualified by the other agent. So how many, I had one today, for example. We had an inquiry today and somebody said, I want to put in an offer on this property that we've got. And I said, what steps have you taken about raising the finances? And mortgage lending is changing all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So somebody may have been given an offer, a few weeks ago or what have you, but things have changed. Interest rates are changing all the time at the moment.
Days, weeks, yeah.
So I had somebody on the phone today, I would like to put in an offer. And I said to them, okay, so what steps have you taken with regards to raising finance? How are you planning to do it? We're planning to get a mortgage. Okay. So what steps have you taken about that? We had a mortgage offer given to us about 4 months ago. Okay, so have you looked into that again since then? No. But that's the thing. So before I put that offer forward to my client, I need to make sure that that person can actually still get a mortgage, because the interest rates have changed so much that actually what they could do 4 months ago might be very different to what they could do now.
We don't want to waste their time either. We don't want to waste your guys' time, because you could get your hopes up, thinking you're going to get this property, but because it's taking so long to actually get you financially qualified when it could have been done before, and then someone else swoops in and takes the property before you can, that's really sad, and we don't want that to happen. We don't want to waste your guys' time.
So yeah, really important, isn't it, to make sure that you can financially do what you say you're going to do. So as I was just saying a moment ago, I had a situation not so long ago where we had a chain of properties in place, and one of the agents didn't do their due diligence on their client and financially qualified them properly. If they were financially qualified properly, we would have known 8 weeks into the process that they couldn't actually get the mortgage that they thought they were going to get. And the whole thing fell apart because somebody within the chain didn't do their job properly in checking the financial side out of that buyer to make sure that they could do what they needed to do. So again, all of our sales, when we put them in place, before we put them in place, and we make sure that they're financially qualified, they can do what they say they're going to do, they can get the mortgage with the lender that we've put them that they're being put with. Solicitors are a key one as well, aren't they? When one of the key points is getting solicitors, really good solicitors in place. So many people make the mistake of using sort of cheap online solicitors, etc. And it is like pulling teeth when you've got a sales transaction going through.
It's a long time.
Yeah, and quite often it doesn't even get to the finishing line. Using a good local solicitor to the property that you're buying is really important, because it will. you know, they often know the things that come up in land registry. It might come in a flood risk area, but it's just that postcode within the area. Those properties don't flood, things like that. If you've got a local solicitor dealing with the local area on a day-to-day basis, a week-to-week basis, you know that all these little things that come up in conveyancing, they're dealing with all the time, so they know. But if you're dealing with a solicitor, I don't know, up north, and you're buying down south, for example, they don't know what's going on down south. They're not dealing with that area regularly. So again, that's really important. But also from our perspective, and why we're different to other estate agents, is because we do it all the way through, every step of the way from start to finish. We deal with that whole conveyancing process as well, once we get from offer to completion.
Well, we've got our own mortgage advisors, we've got our own solicitors, you know. We highly advise whenever we're selling you a property, something that you like, we always advise ours, don't we? Because it's so much easier as well doing it all under the same roof instead of having to go from dot to dot.
We have our recommended solicitors financial ladies that we use, and we've used for years.
Brilliant.
And you know, they talk to you like human beings. You can pick up the phone to them, you can text them, you don't get fobbed off. If you've got a question you want to answer, they'll answer it. You know, the solicitors that we've got on our panel, for example, quite often I start work as soon as my eyes are awake, and you know, quite often before I start my day, I might ping a couple of WhatsApp messages across to solicitors at 7 a.m. I don't expect a response, but I get them. You know, and that's just because we've built those relationships over time, isn't it? And that's so important. And you know, again, when you agree a sale, going from you know, from us dealing with it and making sure we have everything done, because that's the most crucial time actually, is from that point of offer to getting to completion, chasing solicitors, chasing mortgage lenders. That is really, really crucial time. So if you're with a company, for example, like, I don't know, one of the corporates, or, you know, one of these traditional high street agents, and you end up going up to a call centre up in, I don't know, up north, or somewhere not in the area, a lot of these guys, they don't actually know what's going on as such, and you're talking to people that aren't decision makers, etc. So again, it's a really crucial time. So one of the other reasons why I would say that we're different is because we are on it. It's right from the minute we walk in your door and take your house on the market to the point that we hand over the keys. So yeah,
we just take a lot of pride in it. We do, don't we? I mean, I do, you know, being new to the business, to the property industry. I just take a lot of pride in it.
What would you say has been your sort of most funniest part of the job? Have you got any sort of funny moments that you can remember?
So we had this property, and the upstairs is all just one floor, and it's the main bedroom, and the ceilings are slightly tilted, aren't they? Like yeah. And I went to the storage to show somebody around, show them the eave storage inside. And as I walked over, I just walked right into the ceiling and banged my head. It was really embarrassing, but that's probably been my most embarrassing thing. But probably got a lot more to come.
I said to Jess, actually, I've got some funny stories over the years of what things that have happened to me on viewings, etc. We do have a laugh sometimes. I said, you wait. I said, you're going to have some more, so don't worry about that. There's been all sorts of things.
What's been yours then? What do you think?
The funniest one that I can remember actually, it was a Saturday, and we had like back-to-back viewings, and it was really, really busy, and I was trying to get from one house to the other, and I just pulled up at this house, and I was sort of rushing because I was run over on my last viewing because the people took a bit longer than I expected to, and I pulled up at this house, and the people were stood there waiting for me, and I gave them a wave, and I was quickly sort of trying to get out the car, and as I got out the car, I got my foot caught in the seat bow, so I literally opened the door and rolled out the car. I was rolling around in the road trying to get up to go and do this viewing. Oh, I've got lots of fun. I've got lots of funny stories. Decking's the worst one as well. Wintertime, I said that to you, didn't I? I said when you go out on a viewing and decking's really slippery, obviously when it's wet or when it's like ice outside, and I'll never forget, I was actually doing a viewing in White Parish in Salisbury, and they had this lovely decking. I walked out and it was just like literally like an ice rink. I went straight over on the decking. So embarrassing. But yeah, we do get our sort of funny moments as well.
I think it's such a estate agents are looked at to be like, obviously we are very, very professional, we are, but we are also just human beings. you know.
Yeah.
And it's like when we were saying earlier about making relationships. We're not robots. You're not just on the phone with us. We are meeting you in person, you know, so you're going to get the full package.
Yeah. And I think that's really important, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, you know, we are human at the end of the day. And but like I said a moment ago, you know, the amount of clients that I've got, that I've worked with over the years, have become really, really good friends, because you just build up those relationships, and you make friends along the way as well.
Yeah. I think, well, that's really elaborated on that question, hasn't it? But let's get another one. So what is the beginning process, the steps to a sale?
To a sale?
Yeah.
So the steps to a sale are, this is actually a really common one that I get asked quite a lot, is when they get the offer and then they say, what do I do now? So when you get to point of offer, the next steps are, actually people don't, with all due respect, solicitors aren't great at guiding their clients through what they should be doing. They just sort of seem to expect their clients to know what to do. But from point of offer, so when you get an offer, you then obviously would need to appoint your solicitor. Once you've appointed your solicitor will send out a fixtures and fittings form, all the paperwork to fill out. It's really important to get that paperwork filled out as soon as possible, because the amount of people that I know that actually will sit on that for a few weeks and not realise the importance of getting it back, because the solicitors, until you get that initial paperwork back to your solicitor, they won't do anything. So what happens is, once you've filled out the initial protocol paperwork and you send that off to your solicitor will then send out what's called the draft contract to the buyer's solicitor. And the buyer's solicitor won't actually do any work until they've got that. So if, for example, you've sat on that paperwork for 2 to 3 weeks, that's then not going to send out the draft contract to your buyer's solicitor. So your buyer's solicitor won't then start work until they've received that. So quite often what I tend to say to my clients, and when I take on houses to sell, is I quite often get my clients to instruct their solicitors there and then when they instruct me, get that initial paperwork filled out and with your solicitor ready to go. So when we get the offer, ping straight across to your buyer, they can start work. So that's really quite a good tip for you.
It takes a long time. The amount of phone calls I've heard you on where you're just trying to get, it's just the process, you know, nothing's even been sent off or anything. It's literally the whole process. And
so instructing I would say a good point is actually instructing a solicitor on point of when you're actually instructing me to sell your house. Our recommended solicitors. So once obviously the draft contract goes out to your buyer, I always say to the buyers as well, make sure you put your solicitor in funds for your searches, because until they've got your funds for searches, they can't apply for the searches. And sometimes the solicitors, because they're very busy obviously and they've got lots of cases on the go, your file then comes out, it might be 2-3 weeks into the transaction, they think, oh, we need to apply for the searches, we need funds on account. And that again is a hold up. So the most important parts and the things that take time in a transaction when you're selling a property is searches and mortgage offers. So the main things are to have your solicitor in funds for the searches, because that's what can hold things up, and have your mortgage application in and underway straight away, because those are the things that take time. The conveyancing process then can obviously start and things start to happen. So yeah, that would be my top tips really. On average, the conveyancing process often takes between 8 to 12 weeks, but it really does depend on how many people you've got on your chain, how many mortgage offers we're waiting on, and how many people obviously we're waiting on for searches and things like that.
Yeah, brilliant.
What other questions do we get asked?
Right, so let's go to valuations. Yep, so what are the first steps I need to do in order to sell my home?
Well, the first steps you need to do in order to sell your home is, one, obviously ascertain the market price. So we will come out and give you a valuation, and we'll go through some comparable evidence of properties that we've sold, properties that are on the market, etc., give you an idea on price. Then you need to really allow for a couple of weeks between agreeing the price and instructing us to us being able to get all your marketing material done for you. So that's things like professional photography. We don't do in-house professional photography. We outsource that because it's really crucial when you're putting your house on the market to make sure that you're standing out from the crowd. You think when people are flicking through the portals, you want the best photos, you want your property looking its absolute best. So the marketing is really important. So allow a couple of weeks to get the professional photography done, the floor plan.
Quite quick.
Yeah.
The people who we use, they're quite quick, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Allow us time to do the brochure, for Jess and I to come and do the walkthrough video. So from point of instructing us to point of actually going live, there's a couple of weeks there that you need to allow for. And being ready, obviously, for viewings. So once we get you live onto the market and we're out on the portals, etc., ready to accommodate, obviously, viewings for us and be ready for that.
Just going back, actually, to the brochures and everything and us getting it, so the videos done for you guys, we always send it on over to you as well. We don't just think, oh, that looks great, and then post it ourselves. We always make sure with our clients that they actually like it.
And actually that's a fair point, Jess.
Yeah.
A lot of agents will just literally get on and do what they want to do. But we do work very close with our clients, and we like for you to have an input as well. Again, we speak to our clients regularly. Even if we haven't had a viewing on your property all week, we will still give you a call and have a general chat with you. And talk to you about what's going on and let you have some input as well. You know, give us your thoughts. If you think there's something that we should be doing, we welcome for you to talk to us about it. We're certainly not closed off anyway, are we? That's for sure.
Got your best interest at heart, really, haven't we? Because we want to get your property sold. And that's the whole point of being an estate agent.
Anyway, I think that's quite a bit that we've covered today in questions that people tend to ask. But if you've got any questions that you want to ask us, we will be doing coffee with Celeste quite regularly and covering any questions that you guys have. So feel free to private message us through social media or email us or something, and we'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions. In fact, actually, that is a point. If even if you want to give us a call and just ask us some questions or talk to us, we're more than happy to talk to you. Don't feel that you can't pick up the phone. As Jess said earlier, we are here to help with humans, even if you're not looking to put your house on the market at the moment, or you're not looking to buy at the moment, you just want some general sort of feel of what's going on in the marketplace. We're always open to have a discussion.